Hey, sheep. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. It is a beautiful morning, and I'm actually sweating in this light sweatshirt, but I know it's going to be cold when I go inside the house because of that slap, so I'll suffer through right now. But it's supposed to rain today, so, and we are waiting on some more materials for the house, so we're going to work on a hay feeder for the sheep. It's kind of late. It's what, beginning of February. So we've been feeding hay for a month and a half. Probably got another month to go, but we're getting into the rainy spring season. So instead of them eating off the ground, which you can see right there, the lighter colored grass, that's hay. They don't eat it all when it's on the ground. Once it gets wet, they don't eat all of it. So to cut down on a little bit of waste, which if there is waste, it's just gonna help our pasture when it breaks down. But to give them more to eat, we're gonna build a hay feeder. And then when it's real cold, we also give them some alfalfa. So that'll help kind of hold it together. So we went and got all of our materials yesterday. I also got some door handles on that Tina has been hounding me to get. So we got our door handles on, which is nice. But we got all of our materials. I'll put up a picture here of kind of the feeder that we found online that we're going off of. We don't have plans, so we're gonna wing it and hope that it turns out. And if it does, you guys will kind of see how it's built if you want to build one for yourself. So we'll get started. Okay, so first I'm gonna build the uprights for the side. Which are not those pieces there. Probably want to make sure I get the right ones. There we go. So the base of it's going to be 2 foot from the bottom. And then it's going to be 2 foot between the two. So that'll put us at 27.5 from 24 to 51.5. And then the cross piece is going to attach in here as well, so we need to space these in 1/2 inch. So our skids are 1 foot longer than our width of our piece here. So that way it could sit 6 inches past. So these are going to have double skids in hopes that it's slightly easier to pull around. All right, so there's one side. And now we could get the other side done. All right, so this piece will start our base. If I can do it without knocking that over there, that would be wonderful. So put one through here, just for a little bit extra support. Now we can put the other side on. Alright, try to get this propped up here, if we can. Alright, so the frame is done now. Alright, so the skids, I went this way with them instead of this way, because I figured it would be more stable pulling it around our bumpy pastures. If I went this way, the sheep could have stepped on it, especially when the used lamb, they could step on it to get the height, but I think we'll be okay like this. Worst case, I can pull the bottom, lower it down if I had to, but like I said, I think this will be okay. So next up, I'm going to put the bottom on. What I've seen some people do is they put hardware cloth or some type of mesh. We're not going to do that because we do feed alfalfa in the winter when it's real cold, alfalfa pellets. So I don't want that to fall all the way to the ground. So we got some shiplap, or it's not shiplap, it's just 1x6s over there. So I'll put the 1x6s over there, and I'm going to leave like 1/8 of an inch gap so that if there is any water, it can fall through, and then I'll probably just drill a couple holes in those 1x6s as well for water to drain out. And this will have a roof on it, so it's probably not going to be that much water in it anyway, just if there's wind-driven rain. So we'll get those 1x6s cut to length here, and we can get them fit in, and then we can move on to our V-style slat in the middle. All right, so we got our 1x6s for the base cut, and kind of got it laid out here with gap between. It's not exact. These boards are slightly warped, but it doesn't have to be. I just want to leave enough of a gap for water and for warpage. So they're all lined up. And I'm just going to screw it in from underneath, and then we'll have it all attached together, and then all we got to do is flip the whole thing over. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my bottom here, stick it up here. I just got a couple screws to hold it up. I'll get it in place. All right, so it's starting to take shape. We'll build the middle portion now, and then we can put a roof on and hopefully be done with this today. So it's fairly heavy. I did forget D-rings, so we could pull it by hand or with the mower. So I will have to get those, but I may have some stocked away somewhere. So the next is going to be a 2x4 on the top, a 2x4 on the bottom that are spaced at the intervals of this, and then we'll put slats of 2x2s in the middle. So I'll get it measured, cut, and then we can start assembling that piece. All right, so we got all our pieces cut. I'm just going to use this 2x2 here. This will be what our other 2x2 pieces connect to. All right, so I got this little spacer here. All right, we got the prison bars done for one side. We get the other side done, and then we could get it mounted. All right, so you can see I got the other one built and mounted. So go ahead and put this one in. It's good and tight, which is what we want. She's in. Get it all lined up. Toss a couple screws in there. And the base will be almost done. So it's definitely heavy, but it's definitely sturdy because the sheep, much like the pigs, they like to use this stuff as a scratching post. And their shelter that I built back before we got them, you can see, because they are right there. They've been using that as a scratching post, and that's totally jacked up. So I need to fix that this spring at some point. It still works, but I do need to fix the roof because I didn't add blocking when I did that. And then they've totally jacked up the legs on it. So it's still working. It's a good design. It just didn't have enough reinforcement, so I'll have to do that. Next thing I gotta add is I gotta cut a couple more slats for right here because I don't want anything to get up in there, which is definitely possible with a baby lamb, a little lamb. So they could jump up in there. So I'll probably put one bar here, see how it looks, and I may add another one, but I'll get one cut, we'll add that, and then I have to figure out a roof. All right, well, I didn't get it finished yesterday, but came out here this morning. I did lower it down 10 inches because I got thinking that where it was, they would just be able to get to the tray. They wouldn't necessarily be able to pull the hay from above. So I lowered it down. I could always add more height if I needed to, but I think that'll be a little bit better. The only bummer part is now these posts are low, and when I do the roof, I'm not gonna be able to load it from here unless I like bend way down, but I can still load it from the side and toss in hay on the side over here. So it won't be too big of a deal. You can see I added the side supports, just cut the angle on those. And I do have my roof cut, my main roof. So I'm gonna do a 6/12 pitch. So I'll get those mounted to these posts here, and then we're gonna do a little bit of an overhang, 4 inches on the sides over here. And then our roof is just gonna be 3 foot on both sides because that's the panels that I have. We're gonna use some extra panels that we had from the house. So the roof will be white and the ridge cap will be that charcoal color that we use for the roof. That's what we have. So that's what we're gonna use. So we'll get those mounted and then we can build the rest of the roof. All right, so I got my wall pieces, or my roof pieces on. Now I'm gonna put some purlins on. I'm just gonna do 3 purlins. That'll kind of hold the panels on. I was gonna do like a soffit, or not a soffit, but a fascia piece, but I decided against it because it's more work, more wood, and it's really a bit excessive for a hay feeder. So I could always go back and add it later if I wanted to, and why wouldn't I have forgotten the drill? Yep, knew that was gonna happen. All right, let's try that again. So the overhang is 3.5 inches, which will be enough for the metal panels. so I don't have to cut them. All right, so I got both side purlins done. I'll go ahead and throw up our panels now. Which I need. Get a couple clamps. All right, so again, doesn't have to be perfect. So we will just fasten this in. I will just measure. All right, I'll get the chalk line, snap the rest of these, get this side fastened down, and we'll toss the other side on, and then we can do our ridge cap. All right, got both sides on. I got my ridge cap cut. I just thought about it. I have a piece over there. I had some white roof edge metal from the house that they sent us the wrong stuff. But where I put this purlin, that roof edge doesn't hardly, it like barely hangs over. So had I thought about it before, I could have moved that purlin down a touch, and then I could have put the roof edge on, and then that would have looked more finished here. But again, it's a hay feeder. I don't think the sheep will care. If they care, I'll update you guys. If they tell me that they don't like it, I can tear it all apart and redo it, but we'll wait till they say something. All right, wasn't pretty, but it worked. The dolly ended up getting caught in between the legs, so I was able to use it as some wheels. I do have furniture dollies, but they're packed away in the containers, so gotta use what we got. But we'll turn it, drop it off the ledge, and we can tow it out there to the sheep. Hey, sheep. Well, I could definitely load it from under here. It wouldn't be that bad. It's not as bad as I thought. If I had that extra height, if I lowered this down and left these their original length, it would be a little bit better, but it works. It's easy enough to load in there. We only give them a half a bale at a time, usually. So next year when we have a whole bunch more, we can put a bale in here or 2 bales in here, and it'll be plenty. So if that catches it, we're supposed to get some rain, clouds. So if we get the rain, we'll see, but I bet that's just gonna drain any water that gets in there. Sorry, I don't have any alfalfa for you. So we'll wait and see if they eat from it. Hopefully I can trust all of you to not tell Tina that I scratched the door, the paint on the door a little bit on this side too. So nobody tell her. That would be wonderful.